Hello everyone, welcome to the flame test lab. In this lab we'll be testing the flame test of elements, mostly metals. We'll start with sodium ion, and the next one we'll look at will be lithium ion, and then we'll look at cobalt. And the next one will be strontium, and then we'll look at barium, and then we're going to look at potassium, copper, and we have two unknown elements that students will have to test and then tell which of these unknowns, based on the flame color, which of these matches any of these chemicals that I showed around. To do this lab, we're going to be using Q-tips instead of the wire loop. We can use the wire loop also, but the Q-tips works also very well because they are disposables. Sometimes we also use the wooden splint, but in this lab we'll be using the Q-tips. So we have a beaker of water. We have to moisten the Q-tips and then use it to grab the sodium or any of the metals that we'll be testing. We'll also be using this beaker for disposables. Once we use the Q-tip, we'll just throw it into that beaker. Now there is a worksheet here that you'll be completing, and you'll be writing the flame test, the colors for every element you test, and also we want to know the strength of that. At the bottom there are 4 questions that you need to answer. What causes, one of the questions is which ions produce similar colors of the flame, and how would you tell by that? Also, you have to explain how the colors observed in the flame test were produced. I have attached some notes here. If you want to read up the notes, you can also read up the notes. So it's a very interesting and very exciting lab. We'll turn on the gas. We turn on the gas, and then we turn it on. We adjust the flame by changing the amount of oxygen that's going through the hole. And there we go. You can come up with how you want the Bunsen burner to burn. So let's start with the sodium. We're going to dip one side of the cotton swab into the water, and then we take our sodium, we dip it into sodium, and we grab some sodium crystal, and then we just put it, it turned off. Sorry about that. So again, let's go back. We grab our sodium crystals and we put it. We see the fire, the flame color. And please don't ask me what color is it. You have to come up with your own color and record in the paper. We throw that cotton swab in the trash can, and again we take the next one. We'll look at will be lithium. Grab a few and we test the color of the lithium flame. Please, you record that color. Don't wait until the cotton starts burning, and don't obviously burn the stick. All we are doing is just testing the metal ion. So the color that we see is the color that we are recording. Okay. Again, we throw that in the trash can, trash beaker. We take another clean cotton swab. We moisten it, and the next element we're going to look at, metal ion. These are all chloride ions. Lithium chloride, strontium chloride, barium chloride, sodium chloride, they are all chloride ions. The next one we'll look at will be cobalt. And again, we show it in flame, and we look at the colors. Let me do that again on the other side, just in case you didn't see. But UV, that color. Again, we throw it in the trash. The next one we'll be looking at is the strontium. You take the cotton swab and you grab a few crystals of strontium, and again you test it, you record the fire. Again, don't let the cotton start burning, just test the color of the flame. We're done with the strontium, and the next one we'll be looking at is barium. So again, we take a few crystals of barium and we test it with the color. We record the flame color, and we put that in a trash. The next we'll be looking at is potassium. Again, we get a clean cotton swab, and we dip it in water, and then we grab a few crystals and we test. That's the flame color for potassium. We move on to the next one, is copper. We look at the color of the flame, and that's copper. The next one will be testing. Now you have to test the two unknowns. So again, you compare with the other elements that you tested. What does this look like? Which of the following 7 elements we tested looks like this? And the flame intensity, you can also compare it to the spectrum chart. Okay. And the next one we'll look at is unknown number 2. And also you grab a few crystals, and which one looks like this. So this is unknown number 2. After you have tested all these elements, you then need to turn off the heat, turn off the burner by moving this at 90 degrees angle, and that turns it off. And then your next is to clean up. Once you clean up, then you can finish answering the questions that follows on this side. And if there are any other questions, we can discuss them afterwards. Thank you, everyone.